As we're talking about digital media and digital marketing, I want to start off with just the upheaval in the digital marketing space that we've seen from Snap, from Facebook, over these iOS changes. You guys, as we've been talking about over the last few days, have deep insight into data and what's happening in marketing and with retailers. How is that affecting you guys as your customers are hungry for data that's telling them whether their business is working the way it should?
Well, John, first, big picture, I think everybody realizes that it's going to be a digital-first world. And so it doesn't matter whether you're a government, it doesn't matter whether you're a financial institution, all businesses are saying, how do we engage with our customers digitally? I think in that journey, you have to navigate, as you point out, what you're doing with the security of information, what you're doing with privacy. But the big conversation that we're having with every company is, instead of focusing on third-party data, how do you really take advantage of your first-party data? How do you create a trust relationship with your customers? And so I think we're seeing a transition, even from the advertising, where the focus was on acquisition and where third-party data was important, and people talked about the cookieless world, to what can you do with first-party data? When a customer engages with you, how do you create that personalized experience? And so I think that tailwind's only going to continue. And the focus is going to be on ensuring that your first-party data is viewed as an asset. And I think the other thing that I think all of these companies would say is that that trend's only going to continue, and therefore Adobe is going to become more relevant in that journey.
And that creative content that gets created in Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, so many others, is sort of what creates that relationship that gets you the first-party data. So let's talk about Max. What are the most important announcements out of this? You've been leaning heavily into AI, into content attribution, which goes to the security stuff.
There is so much, again, at Max. And, it's just this incredible event for our product folks because it all comes together. We're going to miss the part where we were with the community and, you have tens of thousands of people with us, but last year we had over 20 million streams. A couple of key announcements. The first is, as you point out, artificial intelligence and Adobe Sensei. All of our products are being infused with this, so new versions of Photoshop and Illustrator and Lightroom are certainly coming out. The Frame.io acquisition that I know we've covered.
Yeah.
And so collaboration is a big theme and what we are doing around collaboration. Another theme is everything to do with how people can engage in the web as people are increasingly working in different places. And so we're going to be previewing versions of Photoshop on the web, Illustrator on the web, some really new products like what we call Canvas on the web, where people can really engage and participate. And creativity for all. How do we make our products more accessible, more fun, more enjoyable for a much broader set of community?
How much potential is there to expand the market for high-end creative tools? I mean, I'm looking at what Canva has been doing, and you guys have been, over your tenure, not letting anybody run away with any markets, but how much of what's happening now is using the web to enable people who might not see themselves as inherently creative to use these tools?
I think increasingly everybody has this story to tell. And our mission of enabling people to tell that story, it's the golden age of design and creativity. New devices are emerging, new ways of consumption are emerging, new formats are emerging. The power that you're seeing with chips and everything moving to the cloud. I know there's a lot of conversation around the metaverse as well. And so when we think about the opportunity for Adobe, it's never been greater. And whether that's the web as a surface, whether that's mobile as a surface, collaboration, new media types, our product teams have been incredibly excited about the canvas on which they can create stuff.